Hi, please. You may like to introduce yourself to all of us.
Thank you, sir, for giving me this chance. My name is Ali. My father name is Azeem. I have born and raised in the town Turbat, which is adjacent to the port city of Gwadar and is near the Iranian border. I have done my matriculation from KG Grammar High School, Turbat, where I have done my graduation from University of Turbat in the discipline of law with the distinction of being a gold medalist. For further education, currently I am pursuing my master's in law from University Law College, Quetta. And along this, I have also done certification, online certification, and various developing fields of law like law in artificial intelligence, intellectual property law, and international criminal law. And I have also contributed to the judicial discourse of Pakistan by publication of 3 research articles on the judicial history of Pakistan, particularly that of Balochistan region. And I'm also enrolled as an advocate, subordinate court in the Balochistan Bar Council.
Good. So you are doing practice. You have been to the bar?
Yes, sir. I have been to the bar for practice, but currently I am not connected with the bar, and I am pursuing my career in the civil services.
You have completed your law degree in 2022.
Yes, sir.
So are you current with the legal developments which are taking place in the country?
Yes, sir. I regularly.
Okay, you tell us what are the main features of Madrasa law, which is under consideration.
What, sir?
Madrasa law.
Madrasa, sir. Sir, Madrasa laws are basically under consideration due to the recent amendment in the Civil Societies Regulation Act, which is a long-awaited reform. Since the creation of Pakistan, there has been a debate on Madrasa reform, especially at the time of Ayub Khan, later Bhutto and other. It also is their time. However, they came at forefront with the APS attack when there was a widespread debate that we should regulate our madrasas. So in 2019, Director General for Religious Education was established, under which various seminaries were registered. According to account, there are 18,000 madrasas or different seminaries registered under this DG. However, currently the orthodox sectors which are against this reform, they are saying that they should be reversed. The old system, they should be registered with the deputy commissioner at district level rather than centralizing the whole religious education. However, there are counter narratives like the other sectors which are more progressive and liberal. They wanted the registration with the education ministry and wanted to avail assets and fund from the government. And the other benefit is at the same time they will get degree of the same regular degree which is given in the metric and intermediate level, so they can go for higher education at the same time. But the reformists or the conservatives, they said that it will impact their autonomy and it will also impact their supervision of the person they wanted to elect. They wanted to give the quality of education, it will be impacted. So it is in the legal discourse.
You tell me that this subject of education is a provincial subject.
Yes, sir.
Whether the Federation can make legislation on this issue?
Sir, it's quite technical because at the current time we have education ministries in provinces, and the education is also being under the Ministry of Technical Education, Higher Education under the federal level. Because if we see their Higher Education Commission, Pakistan HEC, which is still working in that capacity. So if we completely devolve the subject, then the federal would not have any power. But it is currently being dealt by both level, in the federal and provincial level. The other example, National Single Curriculum, which was brought forward by the federal level. And similarly, when these reforms or registration were done 2019, it was from that time it was also a provincial subject. So this narrative or this counter argument that it is a provincial subject has no practical standing. How theoretically it is a very sound argument.
Taking you to Middle East, just try to understand the scenario of Syria. What do you think? Is it a good change in Syria or it is a bad?
Sir, personal point of view, I don't think so. A fall of a government abruptly would result and give dividends immediately. However, the atrocities and the kind of regime which was being established by Assad regime was not a prolonged, and it was ultimately to fall at a certain time of period, because it was not based on democratic aspiration of the common people. However, this fall will explode, and it will have an impact on the regional dynamics, certainly on the situation of Middle East from the dimension of Iran and Saudi, which they will try to fill this vacuum by their uh, proxies or their own person. The similar happened in Libya by the fall of Gaddafi, and it was later controlled by Hezbollah, a militant organization. And same happened in Iraq, and Iraq till today has no democratic form of government due to the influence of other regional power. And the same may happen with Syria, and Syria become another hub for the global power politics, which at the same time America want to fill, and Russia also wanted to fill this vacuum because it is in the middle of the East, and one of the Syria is also called the middle of Middle East. So it would have greater impacts, in which will uh, be not fruitful for the peace of the world.
Thank you. Aapke sir.
How important is the role of assistant commissioner in a district?
Assistant commissioner is the hands and the mind of a district. He will utilize or execute the policies of the government and would meet with the public and give the basic service delivery. So his role being consumed, being within the function and giving the service delivery is very much important, especially in matters of education, health, and other calamities, national disaster. So he has a very prominent role.
How will you differentiate between cyber crime and digital crime?
Cyber crime and digital crime, do not have specific knowledge, but I will try to answer it. Digital crime is the crime which is by digital gadgets, electronic gadgets. Cyber crime, I think so, will pertain to the internet and use of internet and other websites. That will be cyber crime.
Cyber crime is right, but digital answer for digital crime is not correct.
I'll try.
इसको जाकर देखें, ठीक है?
Inshallah.
How many amendments have so far taken place in the Constitution of Pakistan?
So far there are 26 amendments taken place in the Constitution of Pakistan.
What about the 26th Amendment? Why there is so much talk about the 26th Amendment?
Sir, 26th Amendment was the judicial reform package envisaged by the current government, and it was a long-awaited reform, especially after the Al-Jihad Trust case law, where for the first time the principle of seniority and other things came forward, how the judges should be appointed, how the Chief Justice of the court should be appointed. So time after time in 2010, 18th Amendment was first brought, then 19th Amendment was brought. However, the reform was not satisfactory. So finally they culminated and they brought a wider reform, which also ensured that there should be an oversight, a check and balance of parliament over the judiciary to curtail the judicial activism, especially that.
What is your personal view on it?
My personal view on it is that, sir, it is a good reform, but however, the law made by a person or the parliament should be an organic law. They should be amended from the time and time. Currently, it is good, but however, it should be revised after 10 or 5 years. Then it will be fruitful. If we continue with this system for a longer time, then it will be redundant. However, one minor thing which I think is against the law of natural justice, the Attorney General is present within the Judicial Commission, which appoints the judges, and he also present his cases as a advocate for the government. So it is contradicting the principle of natural justice that no one should be the judge of his own cause. At one end, he is presenting his cases, and other thing, he is appointing that person. So it is a conflict of interest. So he should be removed. Otherwise, it is a vital and I think so progressive amendment.
Right. As a DSP, what measures will you take to improve the crime situation of your area?
Sir, as Deputy Superintendent of Police, I will try to first diagnose what are the major problems, especially in a district which I live. The line order is not so bad in terms of small robberies or other matter, but there are insurgency and terrorism is on the week, and the other thing is drug matters. So we'll try to shut down this with the use of force, especially because they are against the law and they are illegal, and there is no substance to negotiate with such thing as drug matters or against terrorism. They should be curbed, and other matters should be consultation of then there should be a community related policing. The trust of the people should be won. They should be ensured that the police is their savior and safeguard, not extra.
Okay, fine. What is the current status of CPEC?
The currently CPEC is somehow on a slow down mode. I think so. It is a good policy, especially the CPEC projects was envisioned in the time of 2014. Since long ago, a decade, there are many changes in the world, and now we have faced the problem of climate change in 2014.
Why Baloch people,
Okay.
especially the Baloch nationalists, they feel that Baloch people will not benefit from, they're not going to benefit from this project.
So especially it is not against CPEC, but is a historical link is connected with it, especially the Sui gas project. Sui was established in 1952, and 1984 only the first link to Balochistan was given in Quetta, and the rest of Balochistan is still deprived from Sui. So envisioning the past experience, they are averting major reform like this. They feel that it will be certain another Sui case. However, I think so personally that CPEC is different because as we see there are major reforms packages and major development projects for the Gwadar itself, like desalinization plant, International Standard Airport, International Standard.
Okay, fine.
Stadium.
And lastly, you play cricket. How will you account for the good performance of Pakistan in the T20s and one days recently matches?
Recently, the T20 team is not performing very good because we have lost the series against Australia and South Africa consecutively. But
now won against Zimbabwe.
Yeah, so we won against Zimbabwe.
So how will you account for it, for this good performance?
What's that? I'm not understanding.
We won against Australia.
Yes, sir.
You see,
yes, sir. And ODI team
won the first match, the 50-50 against South Africa.
ODI team is considerably performing better, and they have made historical record to be the first team to win an Australian ground against Australia home side, which is a record held by very little countries. And recently, yesterday a match happened. Day before yesterday with South Africa, we comprehensively win against it. So it is a good omen for the coming Champions Trophy. Pakistan will be best performing team.
Welcome to CSP's Academy for CSSPMS preparation. CSSPMS तहरीरी इम्तिहान के तमाम मज़ामीन की ऑनलाइन और ऑन कैंपस तैयारी के साथ साथ सब्जेक्ट सिलेक्शन, असाइनमेंट चेकिंग, क्लास टेस्ट, मॉक एग्जाम, इंडिविजुअल टीचर डिस्कशन और फीडबैक सेशन का इनकाद किया जाएगा। इसके अलावा FPSC की तजवीज़ करदा बुक्स से बने मयारी नोट्स और CSP पब्लिशर की बेहतरीन बुक्स मुहैया की जाएंगी।
Hello Azeem, what are your lessons from history?
Lessons from history are various. Like war is one of the constants of history, and it has not been diminished by democracy and civilization. It is the opening sentence of Will Durant in his book. So it is that war is also one of the favorite activity of men. They also, when they came in a society, they also fight. And the other is that the morals of the society changes with the need of the society. Like when there was a ancient time or agriculture country, peace, or the peace was the most important product. A violent person was not given good matter. But if you go even then back, there was a hunting region. Then the person who was a beast, who can conquer most, who can safeguard his family, that was the virtues of the world. And similarly, at the industrialized age, the one who is more productive, the one who is not connected with his family, can live alone, are the greatest virtue. And similarly, if we go further into the digitalization, as the lesson of the history is that the one who is more connected with modern gadgets and can influence many people on internet is the greatest virtue. So the lesson of history is that there is a revolution or there is evolution at every field of the life, and we should evolve to be effective and efficient at every age.
This is your conclusion or Durant's
So
conclusion?
the digital one was mine, and the other word will Durant conclusion. I added to it.
Okay. Why did Abdul Sattar write the book Foreign Policy of Pakistan?
Abdul Sattar wrote this book primarily to give a glance over historically how our foreign policy evolved. Certainly, he clears many debate within our society why we joined the West. So there is certain debate that we had the option to join the communist bloc and we optioned the West. So he very clearly established that it was the need of the time. Retrospect and inspection in our age is quite easy, but at that time when they were deliberating, it was the most vital option. Then he come to the Shimla deputation, how the Shimla agreement, how did it happen? It was the diplomacy of the foreign policy affairs that it happened. At that time, Pakistan was at a backbench. However, at that time we managed. So these all things are dead.
You like cricket. It is supposed to be a gentleman's game.
Yes, ma'am.
Should women be playing cricket?
Yes, madam.
They are not gentlemen.
They are not gentlemen, but it is an old concept. It is the profession of gentlemen. Now, being a gentleman is like you have a respect, you have a modesty, you should be acknowledged by the world, and same should be for the woman. So the word donate gentleman, but it has a wider impact, and everyone can be within that ambit if he attain a certain respect and dignity.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Dr. Saab.
Thank you, ma'am. What will Durant say about the historians? History of historians.
Will Durant say the historian also is especially write those things which are
They are biased.
They are glamoring.
Okay.
They
Do you think that will Durant also biased?
Will Durant further writes in his book that I am not biased because I write about the goodnesses of the world.
What he says about corruption,
Particularly, I am.
and what he says a lesson in his drive driven from the history of economics.
In the economic history, he especially writes the communism and the capitalism, especially
What did he specifically say about the lessons of economic history?
lessons of economics. He discusses the Karl Marx.
And what he says about the religion?
The religion, he says, is negative religion view. I do not agree with them. He said religion is which is a structure which is constructive. He has a constructive sense of religion.
Okay, define law. Very brief.
Laws, sir, are the rules of the state which are enforced by the courts. If we give a brief answer.
Are they necessary?
Yes, sir, they are very much necessary to control the human behavior and its conduct within
Do
a
you
society.
think any utopia where there should be no laws?
That has been proposed, but I think so that would sustain.
Okay, what is difference between rule of law and rule by law?
Rule of law is the theory under which everyone is equal. And everyone
rule by law?
Rule by law is the Decoronian theory that government or a functionary establish his rule through law. Use law as an instrument.
It's a positive or negative connotation?
Sorry, it's a negative connotation.
Negative connotation, okay. Collapse of USSR in 1991. It is said it sowed the seeds of present Ukraine war. Do you agree?
So certainly
How?
because
How?
Sir, from my perspective, it sowed the seed because it the balkanization of the region established many religions, many states or nations under which Russia, which inherited all the assets, nuclear, they wanted its own area of influence. So the area of influence ultimately faded away when NATO expanded to these regions.
What do you think? Who triggered this war? Russia or West?
So there are two perspectives. The Russia accused the NATO expansion to be triggered. However, the West accuses Russia for his expansionist policy.
Okay, tell me, what do you know about the writ of quo warranto?
Writ of quo warranto is a writ under the Article 199, which asked public authority by what authority you are doing this particular act.
Okay, what major changes happened after the Charter Act 1833?
Charter Act 1833. Sir, I have little knowledge, but it was to regulate the East India Company.
To regulate East India Company. Can you name the prime ministers of Pakistan between 1856 and 1858?
1856
And
to
1858.
1858.
1958, yes. In 2 years.
In 2 years, sir, it was first came Chaudhry Muhammad Ali with his farm. 1856.
नाम name बाकियों के.
1856, 1956.
1956 and 1958 के between these 2 years.
So first came Chaudhry Muhammad Ali by his after he resigned. Then Hussain Shahid Sarwardi. Then after Hussain Shahid Sarwardi, we came with I. Chandigarh. I think so, or Malik Friznoon, and then mashallah.
Okay, in one word, you have to answer. Do you think French Revolution has impact on Indian history, South Asian history?
Yes, sir.
Which one?
It was, sir, the
कोई बड़ा नाम ले.
1757 Battle of Plassey. 57 Battle of Plassey, I think so.
तो
Sir, it was free, but after that, it is on that conflict they were being
okay,
instigated by the.
My last question. Gwadar Port. What do you think? It's a symbol of prosperity, economic prosperity for the region, or it will ignite a sort of, it will raise security concerns?
Sir, it is prosperity if dealt with delicately and given due share to the common people, the local people, it will be prosperity.
Thank you.
चलिए, let's conclude this formal interview. Let's have an informal. ठीक है, फीडबैक तुम्हें दे रहे हैं. यू हैव गॉट अ गुड पर्सनैलिटी, कम्युनिकेशन स्किल तुम्हारा ठीक है, यू आर इंटेलिजेंट, वॉइस इम्पैक्ट आप सही दे रहे हैं, पोस्चर आपका सेटिंग ठीक है, और यू आर गुड, अदर वेरी गुड. तो एडवाइस तुम्हें ये है कि अपनी एक नोटबुक बनाओ. नोटबुक बनाइए या नहीं? हैव ए नोटबुक, हर टॉपिक के ऊपर 1 2 3 4 क्वेश्चन लिखो. क्वेश्चन के जो है ना आंसर पॉइंट वाइज लिख लो. कम से कम 100 टॉपिक हो तुम्हें बलूचिस्तान रिलेटेड, और उनको रोज रिहर्सल करो, ठीक है, और अखबार पढ़ो, न्यूज़पेपर अपडेट रखो. तो यू आर वेरी गुड, यू हैव गॉट अ वेरी गुड चांस टू मेक इनटू द अपर लेवल्स इफ यू मेंटेन इट, अदरवाइज यू आर गुड. तो कंपटीशन इज वेरी हार्ड. 570 वैकेंसीज है, 101 in 5 का है, ठीक है. तो यू हैव टू वर्क हार्ड. अब सर
बाकी आपने जवाब बड़े अच्छे दिए हैं. और CSS की तैयारी कर रहे हो?
सर मैंने स्पेशल का अटेम्प्ट दिया था, इससे में रह गया.
रह गए?
इससे में सर रह गए.
ऐसे में
इंग्लिश ऐसे.
अच्छा अच्छा, दोबारा ट्राई करो ना.
इंशाल्लाह सर. कोई
Ali Azeem, as has already been said, you have a good personality. बेटा, ये कागज तुम्हारी स्ट्रेंथ भी है और कमजोरी भी हो सकती है. इस वक्त मुझे तुम्हारी ये कमजोरी लग रही थी, क्योंकि आप ज़्यादा डेप्थ ऑफ नॉलेज आपकी नहीं थी. इतनी ज़्यादा पर्सनालिटी लेवल तो लिखो नहीं, क्योंकि हर एक के ऊपर इतना मटेरियल है कि पैनल जब आपसे सवाल पूछने लगे तो आप लूज कर जाएंगे. एक शख्सियत रखो और उसके ऊपर थॉरो नॉलेज हो. मैंने जो सवाल किया वो आप गेस वर्क पे जवाब दे रहे थे, यू डिडंट हैव द नॉलेज. तो फिर अगर आपकी फेवरेट पर्सनालिटी है तो उसकी नॉलेज आपको थॉरो होनी चाहिए. इसी तरह जब मैंने बुक पे एक बात की और आपसे सवाल किया जाएगा अगर, तो पहले राइटर का दो और फिर उसको बोलो कि बट इन माय व्यू दिस ऑल्सो नीड्स टू बी कंसिडर्ड. मतलब दोनों को मिक्स मत करो, ठीक है. उससे आपकी ऑथेंटिसिटी जो है ना उस पर अफेक्ट होता है. अदरवाइज यू गुड. बस ये चीज़ें, बिकॉज इससे आपकी पर्सनालिटी के एनालिसिस में जो पैनल है वो आपके मार्क्स काटेगा, ठीक है. लेकिन माशाल्लाह आप काबिल हो. थोड़ी सी मेहनत, थोड़ा सा फोकस, यू डू वेल. ऑल द बेस्ट.
वेल, अभी तक जो बलूचिस्तान के कैंडिडेट्स हैं, आप उनमें से तो बहुत अच्छे हैं. और एक चीज़ वैसे मैं आपको ना, द लेसन्स ऑफ हिस्ट्री अगर बुक आपने पढ़ी हुई है अच्छी, तो ये बुक जो है ऐसा बहुत डिफिकल्ट बुक है. तो आपने इसके अच्छे आंसर्स दिए, मैडम को भी अच्छे आंसर्स किए हैं. तो इसको थोड़ा सा और रिवाइज करके जाएं. इसमें जो उसने करप्शन के बारे में मैम एक ज़बरदस्त कोट लिखा हुआ विल ड्यूरा ने, इनसिक्योरिटी इज़ द मदर ऑफ करप्शन. मतलब इनसिक्योरिटी इज डायरेक्टली प्रोपोर्शनल टू करप्शन. इनसिक्योरिटी बढ़ेगी तो करप्शन भी बढ़ेगी. ये डाउन होगी इनसिक्योरिटी. आप एडवांस कंट्रीज में देख लें, जो सिविल सर्वेंट्स हैं इफ दे आर कम उनकी इंसिक्योरिटी तो करप्शन भी कम है। तो इसको थोड़ा सा आप देखें, बाकी चीज़ें जो है आपकी बहुत अच्छी हैं, ठीक है, इनको थोड़ा सा और रिवाइज कर लें। जैसे सर ने बताया कि क्वेश्चंस के जो है फैक्चुअल डेट्स भी देखें, उनको मिस नहीं करना आपने, ठीक है।
चलो, बेस्ट ऑफ
sir.
लक।
मेहरबानी।